Hey, Latin kids. Here we are in Wednesday, March 25th video. Today is the Feast of the Annunciation of Our Lady. Okay, it's exactly 9 months before the birth of Christ in Christmas. And today's lesson is a continuation from the previous lesson. And so I want you to get out your books and I want you to turn to page 156. I want to introduce you to our special guest today watching our class, St. Joseph and the Christ Child, Our Lady, and the Magister, Joe Arnold. Magister, Magister Magnus, right? The great teacher. So, I'm sorry, but unfortunately, no, we'll let Joe sit in our class with us today. He's one of the greats and old ones. I want to continue last time's lesson on Roman numerals, all right? And I want to give you some more so that you can, understand the Super Bowl, for example. So let us review. I was what? Right. Number 1. Okay, V was how many? V, look at all the V's. 5. Very good. X, 10. Now we've got L, hopefully you can see these, C, D, and M, okay? L stands for 50, and I don't honestly know why. I probably should, being that I'm paid to be your Latin teacher. C stands for centum, or what we get our word century. How many years is in a century? Yes, 10. No, that's a decade, decem, right? A century is 100, so 100. And then D is 500, and then M is, yes, you guessed it, 1,000. Okay, now it's funny, the word mile, miles, comes from the meaning for 1,000, and a Roman mile was 1,000 Roman soldier steps. So it was right around 3,000 feet, as opposed to the current modern mile is 5,280 feet. So this kind of rounds out your numbers. We should probably take a few and see if we can't come up with something. So for example, in the year 2000, how would we write the year 2000? Yeah, that's right, just MM, 2000, okay? There's no subtraction done this time, otherwise it would be 0 because it'd be M minus M, which would be 0. How would we write 30, for example? Yep, X, 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 right? 31 would be XXXI. 34 would be XXXIV, right? And you get the picture. So what are we up to, Super Bowl 50? I don't know, they probably won't play it this year. Super Bowl 50 something or other. So that's 50, 55, LV, love. 56, LVI. 54, LIV. I think we may be around 54. I don't remember. So you get the idea, okay? But anyway, it's very simple, but it was cumbersome as well. Cumbersome means difficult to hold on to, difficult to possess. Because this is very cumbersome. I mean, these numbers can get huge. So if we were to add 2034, well, we're not there yet. Let's get our own date. What's our own date? What's our own date? Our own date is 2020. So what's 2020? MMXX. Sounds like some sort of Tesla machine. Now, what if you were born in the 1900s? Suppose you were born in 1999. How would you make 19? So you'd go M, C for 100 minus M. So MCM is 1900. And then the rest you just add on like you would normally as you need. 1950 would be MCML, 55 would be V, etc. Okay, you get the point. Now, the numbers that these numbers here, the 1, this shape, this squiggle, the 0 here, all these different shapes, here's a 9, here's a 6, here's a 7, here's an 8, etc. These are called Arabic numerals. Arabic numerals. These I, V, X, L, C, D, M, those are called Roman numerals. Now, why did we adopt Arabic numerals instead of Roman numerals? Well, it became exponentially easier. Instead of representing 8, or not 8 would be what? Oh, don't knock over statue. V-I-I-I. That's a lot of stuff. Instead, it's just 8, and it writes quickly and easily. The other great thing is that there's no conspicuously, see if you can guess what digit is not here. What digit are we missing? Yeah, we're missing a 0. Okay, as a number. There's no 0 in Roman numerals. This was one of the great additions of using Arabic numerals in terms of making our numbering system so much easier. So watch the magic of a 0. You got 1. Add a 0. 0 is more of a placeholder. It's not really a number because 0 doesn't number anything. If I have 0 markers, I don't have any markers. I have to get a new one, right? It's a kind of a placeholder, right? It holds the place of, in this case, the tens. So what if I add another 0? Now I have 100. If I add another 0, I have 1,000. Another 0, I have 10,000, etc. It allows us to work with much greater numbers in a much more compact and intelligible way. This is the Arabic method of, why? Because it was come up with by the Arabs. I think particularly, if anyone sees this and figures it out and knows that I'm wrong, you can call me out on it, but I want to say it may have been the Spanish Arabs, the Arabs that had taken over Spain, post in the 8th centuries when they took over Spain. And there were philosophers there and thinkers there, and certainly probably in, maybe Persia, because Averroes and Avicenna are the two famous philosophers from Spain that were Arabs. I don't know, look it up. Anyway, I want to move along with the Magister Magnum's, or Magnus's permission, to some other Latin issues. And that's about the language that I asked you to turn to page 156 in your text, right? 156, about the language, part 2. This, and we talked about this in class already, when you guys were still actually physically here, but that was the whole concept of the interrogative particle. The interrogative particle. This is not a subatomic particle, but it is a particle. It's very small. Okay? But before we talk about that, let's kind of follow what they do in the book. And that is, there's different ways to ask a question in Latin. You can just simply change your accent like you do in English. Hey, are you freezing right now, or is it just me? It's just you, right? Or you can use question words, like you already have learned over here, okay? So you've got quis, quid, ubi, cur, okay? Hopefully you remember what those mean, because many of them were in the National Latin exam. Quis is who? Who are you? Quis es? Quis es? Who are you? Quid? Quid facis? What are you doing? Quid facis? Right? The heck are you doing? Quid, so what? Ubi. Ubi? Ibi. Ubi? Ibi. Where? There. And then finally, cur. Why? Why, man? Why, dude? Why am I even here doing a video when we could be sitting here in the classroom together? Anyway, and then there is the interrogative particle. It's called a particle because it's very small. It's an N and an E, and it's placed at the end of a word in order to indicate to the reader that it's a question. So, for example, videsne magistru. Okay, look here. Vides, you all know. You are watching. What do you, and this is, what do you, or do you see the teacher? Do you see the teacher? Videsne magistru. Do you see the teacher?
There he is, right here.
Okay? So that's the second kind of language lesson from stage 11. So, what's your assignment for today in this very short but packed with information video, friends? Packed with information. What is your assignment? Your assignment is to do the practicing the language on the next page, page 157, okay? You're going to follow the exact instructions, and you're going to do it by, I'm going to create a Dropbox, and you're going to do part 1 and part 2, and we'll have them due tomorrow night, right? Tomorrow night by 10 p.m. So your translation, you've had 2 days to do, due tomorrow at 5. That was the translation on page 151. This is the PTL, the Practicing the Language 157, due at 10 p.m. On Wednesday night, okay? Again, thanks for being here. I'm hoping to put together a video about the enunciation for all of my classes. Hopefully that can get done here pretty soon. Look forward to seeing you soon.